And so before we even begin, let me know that you guys can hear me, that you can see me, and you can see my slide that says starting soon. Just type yes in the chat so that we can get all of the tech issues out of the way, hopefully throughout the whole training, so that this is like a seamless process. Melissa says yes, Chelsea says yes, amazing. Okay, cool. So we are going to officially get started. Welcome to the 3 keys to building a bulletproof metabolism. So this masterclass is going to teach you the fundamentals of building a powerful metabolism so you can eat more of the foods you love, do less of the things that you hate, and feel confident as hell in your skin. I'm so glad that you guys are here, and I don't take it lightly that you've committed to spending your time with me tonight. So over the next 90 minutes, I'll be diving deep into the 3 keys that I discovered I needed to implement to support mine and my clients' metabolism, reach our body goals, and build a balanced, sustainable health and fitness routine that we truly can't wait to maintain for the rest of our lives. And again, like I said, I want to be respectful of your time and mine. So although the mics are going to be muted during the training, there will be a Q&A at the end where I can answer any and all questions that you might have. However, as I also mentioned before, this is an interactive training. So I'm not just going to be talking at you. We're going to have a conversation together. So make sure that you keep that chat box open and ready to add your 2 cents, okay? Now let's dive into the training. So you guys are likely here because you either, 1, love food and you don't want to have to give up your favorite foods or restrict yourself in order to reach your body goals. You've likely tried it all before and you know that it doesn't work, not to mention it likely makes you miserable to reduce or restrict your favorite foods. Believe me, I know. 2, you tend to devote most of your time and energy to others, but rarely find the time for yourself. And you might be noticing the negative impact that this has on your physical and mental health, and you might be more ready to invest time into making yourself a priority again. Number 3, you either struggle with body confidence or body image and want to find a way to flip the diet culture narrative from wanting to lose weight and become smaller to wanting to become stronger and make improvements to your overall mental and physical health. Things like supporting your metabolism or building muscle or feeling good in your skin. And 4, you likely have already tried 1,000,001 different things to build your dream body, things like diets or fitness programs or supplements or teas and you name it, but nothing has ever seemed to stick or feel sustainable for the long term. And you might be feeling a little defeated or frustrated by now. Okay, maybe more than a little. So tell me in the comments, which one are you? Which one describes why you're here today? Just type the number in the comments. And if there's more than one that applies, feel free to type more than one number in there. I'd like to know which one applies to you. Melissa, all of the above. Yeah, these are all me, or at least we're all me. 1, 2, 3, and kind of 4. Yeah, 3. Yeah. Needless to say, you guys, you're here because there's something about my message or my mission that has resonated with you in some way. You've seen the way that my clients are able to eat good food, reach our fitness goals, get stronger, develop more confidence, and stick to a routine that fits our lives like a glove. And this is without feeling like we have to fit into a certain box or mold. And perhaps you're ready to learn how to do this for yourself. Imagine being able to skip over all of the Googling and the trial and erroring and just do what works. Or being able to do less and achieve more, to work smarter and not harder, or to finally feel worthy and capable and strong and confident in your skin. Personally, when I learned the keys that I'm about to share with you tonight, it totally changed the game for me. And it certainly changed my clients' lives too. So I know that it can change yours. So no matter why you're here, it is super important that you block out all distractions, okay? And I know that's tough, but give this time back to yourself. Put your phone on silent, close the extra tabs that you've got on your computer right now, put a do not disturb sign on the door if you can, the whole 9 yards. It is so rare these days that we can give anything our undivided attention, but I know that you're here for a reason. So I want to make sure that you're able to focus on this training because I know that it's going to blow your mind. Chelsea, definitely on a journey of discovering where my true worth comes from. Ooh, that is so powerful. And I know there's something that you're going to really love about this training. I'm already thinking about what it is, and I know exactly what it is. So, on that note, I have a little gift for you guys just for showing up here. Everything I'm about to share with you today is equally important. And I think that it's personally critical that you stay until the very end so that you both understand and learn how to implement all of the tips that I'm going to share with you today. So, as a big thank you for showing up and a little extra motivation for sticking around, I'm going to post a link in the chat at the end of the training where you can get instant access to a game-changing resource that I created last year for my clients called the Training and Activity Consistency Creator. And so soon you're going to learn that having a bulletproof metabolism and maintaining consistency in your training routine go hand in hand. And this resource was designed to help make that a heck of a lot easier for you. So it includes a blank calendar for you to plan out your training sessions each week, individual spaces for you to log your workouts so that you can monitor your progress. And it even comes with a starting sample workout just in case you need some ideas or inspiration. So this is my gift to you just for sticking around, and it should give you that first step to start seeing amazing and lasting results in your fitness journey. So tell me in the comments right now, type I'm staying if you commit to stay until the end so that you can snag this resource. Maybe not just so that you can snag this resource, but it kind of sweetens the deal. Staying, amazing, awesome. Lauren says, I'm definitely staying. Melissa says, yes, amazing. So here is my promise to you today. By the end of this masterclass, I'm going to show you how you can ditch the dieting, the food restriction, and the self-sabotage on your fitness journey, and finally build a bulletproof metabolism and a strong, healthy body that you can feel damn confident in the balanced and sustainable way. Does that sound good? Specifically, you're going to discover why what you've been doing for years to reach those goals doesn't work. And instead, I'm going to walk you through what does. And it all starts with your metabolism. Okay, this is going to be the key theme, the running theme throughout the whole chat. But before we dive in, I want to know if you guys can relate to any of these things. Okay, type yes in the comments if you can relate. Are you tired of starting a new fitness or healthy eating routine every month or so because you've fallen off the wagon again and again? Are you fed up with following extremely restrictive meal plans or fitness programs that make you feel like you have to devote your entire schedule to training? Are you often experimenting with things like keto or intermittent fasting in the hopes that you'll finally land on some good advice out there that'll help you reach your goals? Or do you blame your age or your genetics as the reason behind why you might have a slow metabolism? Do you set conditions for your own happiness, like once I lose 20 pounds or once I can go a month without cheating on my diet, then I'll be happy? And do you struggle with a general lack of self-belief and feel like you might not ever reach your goal of finally feeling strong and healthy and happy and confident in your skin? Can you relate to any of these? Lauren says, yes, yes, yes. If so, let me know which one resonates with you. I'm actually curious to know. Lauren says, to all of the above. Chelsea, the last two for me. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm curious to know all. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. So if you're resonating with any of these points, I promise you that it's not your fault and you're not alone. Okay. Whatever that you're doing right now and it's not working. I spent years trying every diet and program under the sun in the hopes that I would land on something that would finally help me reach my goals. Not to mention, I totally fell victim to the messaging out there trying to convince me that I needed to fix a body that wasn't even broken to begin with. Let that sink in. But here's what the majority of fitness professionals, influencers, and weight loss coaches aren't telling you. Okay? It's that cookie cutter diets and quick fixes and constantly living in a calorie restriction and blindly following meal plans are damaging your metabolism. The same goes for doing cardio focused workout programs, not giving yourself enough time for recovery, and fixating on the fat loss. And I'm going to explain this one in detail later. And so when you continue to restrict your food intake ramp up the exercise, and then fall off the wagon over and over again, it actually makes the problem worse instead of fixing it. You start to develop an unhealthy relationship with food and exercise, and your body starts getting used to never feeling like it's receiving enough fuel. So your metabolism slows down to try to adapt to whatever calories that you're giving it, even though you knowingly don't want to continue leading this low-cal lifestyle. It ends up being a sick cycle. And soon it becomes so hard to maintain that you end up just giving up, gaining all the weight you tried to lose back again, and feeling even worse about yourself because you're back where you started. Does this sound familiar? Type yes in the comments if anyone has experienced this before. Emotional eating, binge eating. Yes, yes, Melissa. Ooh, Melissa, buckle yourself in. You are in for a bumpy ride, my friend. There's going to be a lot of aha moments for you. Stuff, binge eating, buckled. Yes, it's usually a one-size-fits-all approach in the fitness industry, but all bodies are different and unique, and not all approaches may work for someone. Oh, I need the snaps for that one. Yes, and soon you're going to learn about why this is. It's frustrating too to be on this cycle. I totally get it. And typically you'd be following what the fitness industry wants you to do, because it leaves you dependent on the trainers and the fit teas and the supplements and the diets, and it completely disempowers you, right? But they're a $72.6 billion industry for a reason. They know what they're doing, right? Lauren tried to do keto or intermittent fasting, then would binge eat at the end of the day. Yeah. So I hope you're ready to take your power back today because you're here. Type yes in the comments if that's what you're ready to do. Now, before we go any further, I want to introduce myself to people who don't know me or just don't know me well yet. So hi, I'm Larissa Nicole. I'm a certified personal trainer, registered holistic nutritionist, metabolism expert, and food blogger who teaches other food-loving women how they can sustainably build their dream body without having to diet or eliminate the foods they love. I'm also a third-generation Italian who was raised with a deep love of food, like pasta and pizza and cheese and bread, all the carbs, olive oil, tiramisu, you name it. These foods were all frequent staples in my diet, and there was no such thing as portion control. So to this day, I've literally never met a bowl of pasta that I didn't get along with. And I also love enjoying a good glass of red wine with a cozy dinner. So tell me if anyone else is either Italian or was raised in a similar way. I'd love to know in the comments if you can relate to that. Melissa, Italian here. Lauren, haha, yes, it's me. Yes. Yeah, drop me some of your favorite Italian dishes in the comments. I'm actually really curious. I'm Puerto Rican, raised Italian. Yeah, so you know, girl, on both sides. Yeah, I want to know if you guys have a favorite dish, desserts. Ooh. Just say the word gelato and I'm there. I'm there. You don't have to motivate. I'm very food motivated. Cannoli. Yeah. Tiramisu is my favorite. Spaghetti carbonara. Oh, especially the pancetta. The pancetta must be there. Totally. All right. So needless to say, we can go on a bender forever, but needless to say, growing up, I struggled with my weight, my body image, and my relationship with food a lot. The bruschetta. Seriously, we can just spend this whole masterclass talking about Italian food. I'd be so okay with that. But needless to say, I grew up in a household where there was an abundance of Italian food, and so I struggled a lot with this feeling and this relationship of I loved food, but I didn't feel like food loved me. Right? In my teens, I tried everything to lose weight. I restricted my food intake. I did a ton of cardio, and I basically tried to hate myself healthy, because that's what I thought I needed to do to finally look and feel confident in my skin. Did I also mention that I was a binge eater? Right? I'd spend so much time and energy trying to stick to the latest diet each day that I'd end up giving into my cravings late at night. It became a never-ending cycle, and I hated it. My mind was constantly consumed by thinking about food, about not eating food, about wanting to eat food, about thinking that if I did eat food, that it would ruin my progress. It was mentally and physically exhausting, and it put everything else in my life on hold. And I couldn't understand why I wasn't losing any weight, because at the time I didn't realize what I was doing to my metabolism through the constant calorie restriction and the mental warfare. So by the time I started my first year of university, I had reached an all-time low. I was living away from home for the first time in my life. I had absolutely no self-worth. I was constantly fixated on food and my body. I barely let anyone in. I didn't go out. I didn't want to meet new people. I didn't want to be in photos or make memories. I didn't do anything that I dreamed of doing because I was so uncomfortable and ashamed of my body. This was supposed to be the prime of my life, and I was letting my weight, my negative self-talk, and my horrible relationship with food prevent me from actually living it to the fullest. Does anyone else feel like that? Let me know. Tell me in the comments if you've ever struggled with the same thing, or maybe even just something similar. Lauren, I relate 100%. Yes. Yeah. Negative self-talk and being hard on myself. Yeah. And it was so prevalent at that period of my life, and it was taking over a really pivotal time in my life, something that I was supposed to enjoy. And I wasn't even able to enjoy it because I was just so fixated on wanting to fix myself and wanting to lose weight and wanting to be a certain way. And so I just decided that I was done. I was done. Put my hands up and I was done. I was done with the quick fixes. I was done with starving myself. I was done with feeling horrible about my body. I was done with all of it. And I was ready to finally do the work to feel strong and confident in my skin. Even if it was going to take me years to do, even if I had to make lots of sacrifices to do it, I knew that I was already sacrificing so much of my life and my happiness already. And so after the years that I spent trying to figure it all out on my own, I had to confront a pretty cold, hard truth. And it was that I was going to have to fully invest in getting the support that I needed. And that meant time, that meant money, that meant mindset, that meant attitude, lifestyle, all of it, right? I spent far too long feeling comfortable repeating that same yo-yo cycle that I had lived my whole life. That was my narrative, right? I was so used to it that even though it was painful, it was something that I could predict and therefore control. Does that resonate? Let me know. But I knew deep down that I was just putting off the inevitable, because if this was as big of a priority to me to figure out as I knew that it was, and I felt that it was, I knew that I needed to go all in. And I had to become more committed to my goals than to the life that I was so used to living. And that's scary, right? Tell me I'm not alone. It involves a certain level of sacrifice and stepping out into the unknown and doing life differently. But that's also when things started to change for me. And so I want to know from you guys right now, just to know what kind of crowd I'm working with. Tell me, are you more committed to your goals and your dreams than you are to your comfort zone? Type yes in the comments if you are. I'd love to know. Lauren says, not wanting to be in photos, scared of wearing cute clothes because they wouldn't flatter me well. Yeah. Melissa, yo-yo too long. Yes. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. The story didn't end here, okay? This was just the beginning. It took me 8 whole years, thousands of dollars working with coaches, trainers, and getting professionally certified in both the personal training and fitness side and the holistic nutrition side, plus a whole lot of overcoming my own limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, and more to get there. I learned everything that I could about my body, the metabolism, how it all worked. I tracked my calories, I meal prepped and exercised religiously, and I even started training a roster of clients while also being a fitness instructor at a small group training studio. My life was nuts. It was a complete 180 from the life I was previously living. But this total change in lifestyle ended up in me losing over 60 pounds and completely changing my body composition. But even at my smallest weight, which you see in this picture, I wasn't happy. I was still struggling with my food relationship and my body image, and practically felt like I was the same person on the inside. And that's when it hit me. It was never about my weight. And I'm going to say that again. It was never about my weight. I thought, and I hope that there's no kids around here because I'm about to swear, I thought that busting my ass to lose 60 pounds would make me feel strong and confident and healthy and amazing. And there was going to be rainbows and sunshine, and that wasn't it. Although I did introduce some healthy habits to my lifestyle that I've still maintained to this day, and I don't regret it for one single second, I was still hanging on to a lot of behaviors and beliefs that didn't serve me. And so maybe you're here right now. Okay, tell me if you've ever worked so hard to achieve something that you thought you wanted, and then you realized it didn't really change anything at all. I'd love to know. Chelsea, I'm motivated to accomplish my body goals. Working with a male trainer forces me to step out of my comfort zone and overcome being self-conscious, which is a good thing. Yeah, you know what? Whatever works for you, Chelsea, that's awesome. So over the 2 years that followed, I ended up embracing weight gain for the first time in my life and taking a good hard look at what my true dream body meant to me and exploring all of the things that I valued more, like food and friends and family. There's a lot of good F words. And so I stopped doing all of the things that didn't work for me and began crafting a routine and a lifestyle for myself that I truly loved. I invested even more time and money into working with coaches and professionals to help me move in ways that my body needed. And I say this because not many of you might know that I herniated a disc 2 years ago, no, actually last year, and have been working for the past year to retain and regain my mobility and my strength. And so all of this completely just it was a total upheaval of lifestyle for me. And not just doing things that are trendy on the gram anymore, really thinking about my body in a holistic way and thinking long term. And I can proudly say that today I've successfully been able to help countless clients not only build their dream bodies, but also totally change their relationship with food and their body, build unshakable confidence and self-worth that isn't tied to a shape or size, create balanced, sustainable, and consistent routines that they can rinse and repeat for the rest of their lives too. And the thing is, there was no other way that I could have developed many of the philosophies that you see here that I live by today and impact my clients on such a deep level if I hadn't invested my time, money, and gone through every bump and a roadblock along the way. And so I am so grateful that I made that decision over 8 years ago now, because it wouldn't lead me to where I am today here with you. So that decision led to figuring out that there were a lot of key truths about our metabolism that most food-loving women on a fitness journey haven't been taught before. What I discovered was that it wasn't just about needing to eat less or move more, which this is the traditional weight loss model. For you guys who don't really know, it's typically called the eat less, do more model. And it's the one that you hear all of the time in the media. And it's not that you just have weak willpower or that you're not strong enough to say no to the junk or that it's just normal to think about food every single second of the day, right? If you're doing any of these things, I'm here to tell you that you are going about it all wrong. So once I started to work on my metabolism, along with mending my horrible relationship with food and my body, everything changed for me. And I want to share how I did all of that and how I help my clients do this so that you too can skip over all of the endless trial and error and finally achieve whatever results you're after in your fitness journey. Okay, because there's a simpler way to build a strong, healthy, and fit body that you genuinely love without having to give up your favorite foods or spend hours training every single day or have it totally consume your life. So type yes in the comments if you want a simpler way of doing things. I want to know. Chelsea says, the key is finding a program that suits you and that you can stay consistent with. Yeah, because you actually enjoy it and are not miserable. Yes, Chelsea. We're going to talk a lot about that, my friends. Melissa says, yes. Lauren says, yes. All right, so buckle up. And if you haven't already been taking notes, which I hope that you have, but now is definitely the time to whip out that pen and paper. Lauren says, I want something that is lifelong, not just for a month. Yes, girl. All right, here we go. We're going into the juicy stuff now. Key number one, it's not genetics. We're going to talk about understanding how your metabolism works and how to increase your metabolic rate. Okay, my whole life, I always thought that I just had a slow metabolism. Tell me if you think this way too, okay? For me, growing up in an Italian household, I watched the majority of my family, specifically the women, struggle to either lose or to maintain their body weight. And so I just thought, this is just the way that it's going to be, right? This is just my genetics. I had no idea that I could actually increase my metabolism, or that genetics were simply one of many factors that determined your metabolic rate. But I kept wondering how it was possible for some people to practically eat anything they wanted and not gain any weight, while I could literally quite literally glance at a photo of a piece of pizza and blow up like a balloon. Does anyone else feel like this? Melissa, yes. Yeah, it must be an Italian thing, right? Lauren, what I always thought, or literally what I always thought, since all of the women in my family have big chests and big butts. Yeah. So needless to say, there are more factors than just genetics at play when it comes to our metabolism. And I hate to break it to you, but although genetics and age do affect metabolism, they don't pull nearly all the strings, okay? So I'm going to share with you the key factors that actually influence metabolism. Okay, let's go through them together. One, body composition. So this is known as like your muscle to fat ratio. Muscle requires more energy to function and to maintain in your body than just body fat. So this means that the more muscle tissue you have on your body, the more energy your body requires just to simply exist, okay? Age. As you age, your metabolic rate does naturally slow down, yes. But studies have shown that this doesn't actually happen at nearly a significant rate until you hit the age of 60, okay? This is usually because when you hit the age of 60, the body starts to lose muscle tissue at a faster rate, which we already learned. Muscle tissue really does impact metabolism. And the hormones and neurological processes, specifically in women, also start to change. Height and body size. Number 3, those who are taller or who have bigger bodies generally have a higher BMR. This means bigger bodies just physiologically, and also people who have a lot more weight on them. You have a higher metabolic rate when you're heavier, which means that you require more calories when you're heavier. And so this is because that you have either larger organs, more overall mass, or more fluid volume to maintain in the body. And this is also one of the reasons why men burn more than women. They usually have more larger organs, more mass in their body, and a higher fluid volume. And so anytime that you've seen a man just have it so effortless, right? They have a faster metabolism. It is all true because they have a bigger body. So they need to burn more calories in order to maintain that. Heredity is the next one. So most people, or some people, just naturally have faster metabolism based on their genetic upbringing, right? And other people might possess genetic qualities or disorders that might negatively influence their metabolic rate. Things like thyroid dysfunction or an autoimmune disorder. Those things might come from your genetics and from your heredity, and that does impact metabolism. The next one is exercise. So while cardiovascular exercise, cardio, generally burns more calories per session than strength training does, consistent strength training will increase your muscle mass, which we already learned plays a significant role, which provides even more support to your metabolism by increasing the rate at which you burn calories even at rest. And so if you've heard that sort of that phrase or that thing before about like cardio burns calories, but muscle burns more over time, it's true because you're burning more by increasing your metabolic rate. That's how it happens. Stress and hormones. Chronic stress increases cortisol level in the body, which impedes fat loss and metabolism over time. Okay, so anytime that we are feeling chronically stressed, and this can mean anything under the sun, it can be physical stress like exercise, it can be, and this is why over exercising is not good, right? Because chronic physical stress also plays into this, emotional stress, psycho-spiritual stress, environmental stress, a pandemic. All of these things cause cortisol to rise in the body and impedes fat loss, okay, and lowers metabolism. Same thing with hormonal imbalances. So like we said with thyroid, that can also impact your metabolic rate. And then environment. So environmental changes such as like increased heat or cold forces the body to work harder to maintain its normal homeostatic temperature through shivering or sweating. So this generally increases your BMR because you're trying to sort of go back to that balance. And so now, what does all of this mean? It means that you can stop blaming your slow metabolism on genetics and start using this information to your advantage. Sure, you might not be able to use certain elements like your heredity, age, and height. You can't change that, but you can change your body composition or your level and type of exercise or your stress levels or your mindset or your environment, right? And that's where the next piece of this puzzle comes in. All right, so before I go any further, it's important for me to break down specifically what metabolism is, right? It's not just a trendy buzzword that fitness professionals throw around to sound like smart. It's an actual term, and I'm going to break it down for you right now. So metabolism is the process of converting what you consume, like food and beverages, into energy for your body to function, survive, and thrive. So basically, if you want to lose body fat, if you want to build muscle, if you want to gain or lose weight, if you want to reach another level of athletic performance, anything, you need to understand your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate, and your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure. These are two key terms. And so let's talk about this, okay? How to improve your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure, which means the total amount of calories that you burn in a day. And it's influenced by, first and foremost, your basal metabolic rate or BMR. So these are the calories burned by your body just keeping you alive, right? Like organ function, breathing, thinking, sleeping, maintaining your muscle mass on your body. The next one is NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Try to say that 5 times fast. I promise you, it is a tongue twister. But this is calories burned during non-exercise activities. So things like walking or gardening or fidgeting or talking on the phone or taking the stairs instead of the elevator, right? Non-exercise related. The next one is the thermic effect of food, right? Digesting the food you eat requires calories, right? It requires energy to actually digest food. So if you're like, think about this for a second. If you're restricting your calories, you're reducing your TEF, which makes no sense when it comes to wanting to burn more calories, right? Digesting food actually causes energy to be expended. And then finally, exercise. So this consists of weight training and cardio, any sort of dedicated exercise. So as you now know, your TDEE, which I'm going to just generally call your metabolic rate, greatly differs from person to person, which we just kind of went over. And it matters because when you don't know what your TDEE actually is, you usually run the risk of feeding your body more or fewer calories than what you actually need. What's more is that most fitness guides and fad diets, they don't take into consideration your own individual TDEE. And so instead, they'll just give you a generic number, which is one of the reasons why you ultimately fail. Because as a result, you can end up seriously over or under consuming calories, which will sabotage your results. What's more is that you've likely been told, let me know if you've been told this before, you've likely been told to just exercise more, right? That's going to help. Just exercise more in order to lose weight. Type yes in the comments if you've been told this before. But as you can see from this chart right here, exercise only makes up for about 10% of the total daily energy you expend in a day. That's why the eat less, do more model of weight loss does not work, because it can only take you so far as 10% of the way. And it limits you to thinking that you're not able to impact or increase the other 90%. So Chelsea, save that question. Can you write that down so that I'm going to open up for a Q&A and we'll talk about the differences and everything later, okay? Lauren, yeah, absolutely. And so I'm going to give you some examples that you've probably been told in the past of ways to lose weight. Like, for example, drastically reducing your calories or using products or diets that keep you in a calorie deficit for extended periods of time, right? This is usually what most people will say. This doesn't work because you're not feeding yourself enough calories to function properly over the long term. The longer you spend in a calorie deficit, the more likely your metabolism will start to adapt and optimize, right? It's trying to protect you, which slows down fat loss and prioritizes other things that are more important to your body, like brain and organ function, right? At the end of the day, your body doesn't care about fat loss goals. Your body wants to keep you alive. Other examples of this include doing cardio or circuits as the majority of your workout routine, or exercising to make up for what you've eaten that day. And so the reason why this doesn't work is simple. Since exercise only makes up for about 10% of your TDEE, this means that no matter how much you try to outrun your diet, it will not work. And finally, restricting yourself throughout the day only to binge or to cheat at night. For cases like this, you are developing an unhealthy relationship with food. But not only that, by starving your body of fuel throughout the day, you're sending signals to your brain in the form of hunger and cravings and moodiness and fatigue and more, which just perpetuates that binging cycle. And so you'd end up back where you started and the cycle just repeats itself. So tell me in the comments, have you done any of these things in attempt to lose weight before? And don't be shy. You guys are all here for a reason. And remember, these examples are based on real life experiences. I am the queen of all of these. Melissa says yes. Chelsea, definitely calorie deficit. And that's not to say calorie deficits are wrong. Calorie deficits are essential to weight loss, but not in long-term situations. You cannot sustain that for a very long time. So if you're doing any of these things and it's not working for you, you might not realize how you are negatively impacting your metabolic rate. And so you just end up feeling more and more frustrated with yourself when you don't see results. But by constantly focusing on reducing your food intake or doing more cardio, you are likely not only experiencing nutritional deficiencies, which we just saw can show up in your life as fatigue, cravings, mood swings. Lots of the time too, if you're not eating enough, it can show up as depression or anxiety, right? But the overall lack of calories and the improper balance of nutrients is causing your metabolism to adapt based on whatever calories that you're giving it. Not only that, but you might not be considering all of the other factors that we discussed, which impact your metabolism. Things like stress and hormones and your environment and your body composition. Right? Which means the more you just keep trying to exercise more and eat less, and not to mention feeling miserable about yourself in the process, the scale won't budge. You'll be hungrier and you'll likely keep getting discouraged and quit sooner than you'll ever see results. Okay? Let me know if you guys are following. Definitely calorie deficit. Lawrence, I've always been told to take out carbs. Yep, I've been there, my friend, and I always find myself craving sweets at night. Your body's a smart cookie. Your body's going to tell you what it needs. So here's your solution, okay? And hear me out on this one, because this is a very hard concept for people who are chronic dieters or chronic doing all of the fingers. You won't want to hear this, okay? Your metabolism needs a bit of an overhaul. And this means letting go of your weight loss goal as your primary focus for now, hear me out, and instead starting to prioritize muscle growth, which also comes with increasing your calorie intake for controlled periods of time. And so just a note here, if you're not confident in being able to do this yourself, which I was not when I learned this is one of the primary reasons why I always recommend working with a professional, just to give you the basics first, okay? It was invaluable to my growth, and all of my clients can say the same. By periodically focusing on building muscle and increasing your calories, you'll not only be increasing your TEF, the thermic effect of food, because by increasing the volume of food that you eat, you'll need more energy to digest that food. But you'll also likely be happier, which impacts your stress levels and your hormones. And you'll also be likely putting on more lean mass, which takes up less space in the body than body fat. But it also increases your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. And so all of these things allow us to burn more calories over the long term without having to constantly be on this eat less, do more cycle. Okay, this slide alone right here, if all you take away from this training is the advice I'm giving you right now, it will drastically improve your fat loss results. Not to mention your relationship with food, your relationship with exercise, your ability to stay consistent, lasting sustainability, all of the above. Like, this is truly the kicker. So tell me, is this an aha moment for you? I want to know if this is news to anyone, if you knew that this was the real key towards seeing lasting sustainable results. Melissa says yes. Ooh, Melissa, we are not done yet. Lauren says yes. Chelsea, my thought was that building muscle burns fat. We'll save that for the Q&A. I cannot wait to talk about that. That's going to be awesome. So to help you understand this a little better, let's think about it in terms of a fixed and a growth mindset. Okay. With a fixed mindset, you're focusing on taking your current metabolic rate, or the metabolic rate you've just been given, and making it work, right? So for example, if this is your metabolic rate, you're either reducing your calories to lose that extra weight, or you're increasing your activity. Those are your only two options, right? Option 3 would be giving up and scrolling through Instagram like the girl on this slide is doing. However, with a growth mindset, you're focusing on building upon what you already have to make it better over time. So you believe that you're not just supposed to use the cards that you've been dealt. You know deep down that you can change and you can improve that. So you decide to build more muscle to help you burn more calories, to help you burn more body fat. And thus, our goal of fat loss can't strictly be achieved by constantly pursuing fat loss. You need to start periodically pursuing muscle growth and staying laser focused on that goal for a controlled period of time. Okay, boom. Who had their mind blown right now? Tell me in the comments. Let me know. Lauren, LOL, it's so hard to think I need to eat more. Yes, because traditional media is not going to tell you that that's the case. And most people don't actually know how to do that to achieve a specific result too. We can talk about this in the Q&A as well. So if you want, bring up a question about this, but there is a difference between just eating everything under the sun and having a controlled eating period, right? Where you're giving your body more fuel. Okay, so we're only on key 1. So let's move on. Okay, key number 2. Is it okay if I give you all permission to be a little selfish? Okay, let me know right now. I want to know. Tell me in the comments, because this key is heavily geared towards mindset, because as we know, stress and mindset do impact your metabolism. So I want to get your mindset on board too. So type yes in the comments. We're getting like nice and close right now. I'm getting my face close to the camera because I want to know if it's okay if I can give you permission to be a little selfish. Type yes if I'm allowed to help you out. Chelsea says yes. Melissa says yes. Lauren says yes, but I don't know if I can be. Whew, Lauren. You'll be in for a bumpy ride if not, but let's go through it anyway. Okay, maybe you need to hear this more than you think you do. Okay, so tell me if you've been committing any of these personal crimes right now or in the past. Not prioritizing yourself. I can already see a few. Feeling too tired or too busy to fill in the blank, exercise, meal prep, whatever that habit is for you. Not asking for or accepting support, not having the patience with yourself or with the time that it takes to achieve your goals, not wanting to make reasonable sacrifices, not setting or abiding by your own boundaries, relying on motivation to keep going, or giving up too quickly or not staying consistent for the long term. Tell me if you can relate to any of these things, right? We've all been there, okay? You've either had a hard day at work, so now you're too tired to cook a healthy meal, right? Or you want to spend more time with your partner, so you're now too busy to work out. Or you don't want to inconvenience your friend who called you and asked you to come out for drinks, right? Or you don't want to invest in your health, but those drinks sound awfully worth it, right? Who's been there before? Or it's been a few days and you're not seeing results and you've been trying so hard, and so you just end up giving up on your goal completely, right? If you're doing any of these things, I'm going to tell you why this doesn't serve you in any way, shape, or form, okay? Because you disrespect yourself every time you say yes when you want to say no. And this comes to your fitness journey, it comes to anything in life, okay? You can blame your reasons for why you keep doing this on whatever you want, okay? Work, not wanting to hurt your family's feelings, social pressure, not wanting to look bad in front of your friends, bad timing, the weather, you name it, right? But you're just using those as excuses because you're afraid of what will happen when you start putting yourself first, right? You think the world is going to end, right? Maybe your friends will say you've changed, right? Oh, you've changed. You don't want to come out for drinks anymore. Maybe your family will give you a hard time at the dinner table. Oh, like that's all you're eating, or you're not going to have the bread. You're not going to have seconds, right? Tell me how many times you've heard that. Maybe it means less time watching Netflix with your partner over a bowl of popcorn late at night, right? But here's the thing, okay? You shouldn't be afraid to change certain habits that are no longer serving or supporting you and your life and your goals because of the emotions that it might trigger for someone else. Okay, I'm going to say that again. You shouldn't be afraid to change certain habits that are no longer serving or supporting you and your goals, your life, whatever you want to say here, because of the emotions it may trigger for someone else. Okay, the way to achieve your goals isn't the way that you've been doing things already. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, right? So you already have to accept that if you want to see change, something has to change, right? And the only way to achieve your goals is by choosing yourself. You have to choose you, okay? Because if you keep putting yourself at the bottom of the priority list, your goals will stay there too. And that's just the truth, okay? I know this because I've been there. And my clients have all been there too, right? Seriously, I've worked with busy moms, career-focused, ambitious women, women who work from home, vegetarians, vegans, people with serious dietary restrictions, people who have had zero fitness experience, who've tried everything before, who have no time, who work multiple jobs, night care workers or night shift workers, teachers, so many of them. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that if it's worked for all of them, it can absolutely work for you. The big difference is that my clients decided that they were going to be successful right now, despite their current challenges and obstacles, right? They didn't let their excuses get the best of them. They didn't let themselves self-sabotage. They didn't let other people or circumstances stand in between them and the life they envisioned. And so here's the real key, okay? We will always find a way to make it work for the things that are a priority to us. We will always find a way to make it work for the things that are a priority to us. We might say things like, I don't have the time, or I can't afford it, or I'm too tired, or I don't have the motivation, because we're too afraid of committing all that time, effort, money, and energy and not seeing results, right? If we don't feel confident that the path that we're taking is the right one, it feels like we're just taking a gigantic leap of faith, right? And that's scary. Tell me how many times that you felt uncertain about whether what you were doing in your fitness journey was actually going to help you achieve your goals. And so you'd self-sabotage because what's the point? I don't even know if this is working anyway. So I can totally have that burger because I don't even know if the diet I'm on is actually helping, right? Tell me in the comments, type yes if you've done that before. If you've let yourself self-sabotage because you didn't feel confident that what you were doing was actually impacting you and could help you achieve results. Melissa says yes. Charles, I've grown in these areas in the last couple months, but I struggle with being consistent. Yeah, absolutely. So we stay in our cozy little box where we can predict what's going to happen. And it feels so much easier and way more affordable to just keep doing what we're doing than to risk getting our hopes up and trying something new, right? It's self-protection. Yes, the too tired trap. Yeah, but it's at times like these that you also need to understand the difference between motivation and discipline. Okay, I'm going to break it down for you. Motivation is waiting to feel like doing stuff. And this is usually what we rely on if we lack certainty in what we're doing. We wait to feel motivated to work out or to eat healthier. Discipline is doing it even if we don't feel like it. It's saying, I might not know where this path leads, but I'm taking it anyway, and we're going to find out. Motivation is instant. Discipline is a habit that is built over time. Motivation is not always going to be there, but discipline is something that will remain when the motivation has died down. You're tired, you've had a really bad day, and you really, really just want to order takeout and watch Netflix all night, but you know that you'll feel even better after having moved your body a little bit, maybe ordering a balanced meal instead, because life is all about balance and you can absolutely still reach your goals while ordering takeout. So you push through that initial discomfort regardless. You get the workout done and you reinforce those positive habits you know will help you continue on the path of becoming the woman that you want to be in the long term. Remember, life is not always going to be perfect. We're not always going to be psyched to do a workout, and choosing a healthier option on a menu is not always going to come easier to us, right? But the person with discipline, the person that puts themselves first, will do it anyway. Okay, and this is why mindset and getting organized, these are two huge components inside the way that we work together in my coaching program, Stronger Ever After. Is I'm able to walk my clients through everything that they need to organize their workouts and their nutrition around their busy schedule so that it always fits their lifestyle. And I also help them work through mental roadblocks like I'm too busy or I messed up, so I might as well give up, right? So that they're no longer stopped by feelings of self-doubt or lack of motivation that will keep them and their metabolism stuck in that yo-yo cycle. They inevitably learn how to create a framework for success, both physically and mentally, which is important. And it has saved them so much time and frustration and doubt in the long run. Okay, and this brings me to my final key. This is a juicy one. It's my favorite one, to be honest. How to have your cake and eat it too. Balancing habits that will not only create your dream body, but your dream life. Because I think that in order to have one, you have to have the other. I don't know about you, but I used to have such an all or nothing mindset. Tell me if anyone's been there. I used to think that I had to either cut out all of the foods I love and say goodbye to the brunches and the glass of wine and the dessert. Otherwise, I couldn't reach my fitness goals, or I wouldn't be able to. Have you ever convinced yourself that you need to sacrifice your favorite foods and a realistic lifestyle in order to be healthy? Type yes in the comments. Let me know. Sure. Yes. Yeah. So for many reasons beyond just sustainability, we believe at Larissa Nicole Fitness, we believe in the 80-20 rule. So not just from a nutrition standpoint, which a lot of people talk about the 80-20 rule when it comes to nutrition, like, oh, as long as you eat 80% healthy foods, 20% you can eat junk foods. We don't see it that way. We see it not just from a nutrition standpoint, but from a life standpoint, okay? And this is the way that we operate in every single one of our coaching containers, programs, all of that. As long as you are consistent with your habits 80% of the time, which means you're eating the foods and you're doing the things that support your current goals 80% of the time, you are absolutely, and I encourage it, you're allowed to treat yourself, take a break, or account for the unexpected for the other 20% of the time, okay? Life is not perfect. We are going to make mistakes, and we need to start getting in the habit of being okay with things not going according to plan so that it doesn't interfere with the way we feel about ourselves and the journey. So the 80-20 rule is not only beneficial for your overall mental health and relationship with food and exercise, but it has actually also been proven to be the most successful method for mine and my clients' fat loss goals as well. Okay, we have a track record now. We have history and data to back it up. It's taking enough steps forward to see results while also allowing yourselves to take steps back from time to time to enjoy life outside of achieving our fitness goals and just to be human, okay? And so here's a quote that really puts it into perspective and really reinforces this too. People don't decide their futures. They decide their habits, and their habits decide their futures. Let that sink in. And think about the habits that you're really consistent with right now. Are those habits helping you to create the life that you want by supporting your growth, your health, and your long-term happiness? Or are they creating the life that you don't want? or even supporting the life that you don't want, right? Is restricting yourself 24/7 so that you can't enjoy the foods that you love, supporting your long-term health and happiness and the life that you want to live, or is it not, right? And so this is why balance and being able to balance all of the other habits involved in a sustainable health and fitness journey has been the biggest factor in determining not just whether you're able to achieve your goals, but also whether you're able to keep it off long term, right? And a lot of women, if not all women that I've talked to, don't just want to achieve results for like a 12-week program. They want to achieve it for the rest of their life. They want to be able to rinse and repeat and maintain it, because it's easy to achieve it. It's hard to maintain it, right? And so these are the habits that I found to be essential if you truly want to have your cake and eat it too. So I'm going to take you through it briefly. Number one, goal setting and organization. You have to have a clear outlined goal, something that aligns with your personal values and the action steps that you're willing to take to achieve it, along with a timeline, right? Otherwise, you're going to keep pushing your goal further and further down the road because you never gave yourself the opportunity to get clear on exactly what you want, how you're going to get there, and how long it's going to take. Number two, nutrition. You need to learn more about calories, macronutrients, micronutrients, along with learning more about how your metabolism works, experimenting with healthy, delicious, easy recipes, and knowing how to either grocery shop and or meal prep to make it easier and more sustainable for your realistic lifestyle. Number three, mindset is probably the most important and also the most underlooked aspect of any fitness journey. So you need to work on finding habits or ways that will allow you to work through your relationship with food and your body, to address the self-sabotage, the all or nothing thinking, and more. Otherwise, you're going to be back where you started in no time. And if you're still struggling to reach a body goal that you have right now, chances are mindset is the factor that is keeping you stuck. Number four is training. And this doesn't mean just blindly following a training program that you randomly found off the internet. This means you need to be implementing progressive strength training that is designed for your body's unique needs and your busy schedule, while focusing on that goal, like I mentioned on key one, which is building muscle, and also supporting full body strength. And this also means not committing to hour-long workouts if you can only afford to spend 30 minutes, right? And you'll also want something that doesn't overstress your body or risk injury, which will do more damage than good. And it takes a lot of time to find a program that works for you. Number five, sleep and recovery. Not only does a healthy functioning metabolism need 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night, but it also needs rest days, full days, days of rest. Whew. Your body's ability to recover from the stresses and the demands of everyday life will dictate how efficient your metabolism is and how much muscle you'll be able to build. So it's important to sleep well, to give yourself adequate time to recover, and to also minimize stress levels as much as possible. 6 is self-assessment. So this means developing a habit of checking in with yourself and measuring useful data to get an accurate picture of how you're doing. And you can't just fixate on the number on the scale, okay? Measuring inches, taking photos, recording your mood, sleep, energy levels, and more are all equally important to assessing your overall progress. Okay, we usually over here at Larissa Nicole Fitness will schedule client assessments every 6 months so that there's enough time to implement and see consistent results before we assess and optimize. Okay, so no more weighing yourself every single day. Give yourself some time to assess and also measure useful data. Number 7, accountability. Behavior change is tough, right? Starting a new lifestyle or creating new habits or not letting yourself off the hook is tough. And so this one is really key for anyone who struggles with the habit of self-accountability, because it's a habit, just like discipline. Investing in a coach who has been there to check in with you, to facilitate your growth, and to answer questions along the way will be invaluable to your overall success and be the difference between you pushing forward or giving up altogether. Lauren, that's me. I need accountability. Yes, And then finally, community. This one, I'm going to tell you now, an underline, bold, italics, exclamation point is not optional. Okay, trust me. As someone who knows the difference between going it alone and having a support system, I can say with 100% confidence that your results are supercharged when you found a group that really gets you. It normalizes your experience. It assures you that you're not alone on your journey, and it gives you a sense of belonging, which is a core human psychological need. If anybody has a psychology background, this is it, right? A sense of belonging is what we, at our core, it is one of our core psychological needs. Did anyone else feel so relieved when someone typed yes in the comment box to something that I said, and you realized you were not the only one who felt that way? Let me know in the comments, because I did. Seeing all of your comments come in telling me that, yes, like you felt this way before. Yes, you struggled with your food relationship. It helps me to know that I'm not alone in this either. And it motivates me to keep going because I know that the information I'm about to share with you is genuinely going to help you. Lauren, yeah. Melissa, oh yeah. Okay, so now that you know the key habits that you need to prioritize in a sustainable and lasting fitness journey, I have to ask you, which one would you rather do? Would you rather do the things that you've been doing in the past or the new way that I shared with you here today? Let me know in the comments, old way or new way. Let's see. New. That took Melissa about 0.02 seconds. That's new. Yeah. Okay, so let's do a quick review of the core concepts that I went over, just in case you missed a few key points. Ready? So key number one was you learned that genetics are one of many factors that influence your metabolism, and that it's possible to increase your metabolic rate by focusing on doing the right things. You learned that by cutting calories and doing tons of cardio, you are contributing to a lowered BMR. But if you started prioritizing building muscle, which also equals eating more calories for a dedicated period of time, you'll be able to build your metabolism and eat more of the foods that you love, all while building a strong and confident body that you can actually feel good about and good in too. Key number two is all about mindset. Okay, you learn that not fully prioritizing yourself and your goals is not serving you. Whether this shows up as excuse making, letting yourself off the hook too easily, or relying on motivation to take action, these are all just protective mechanisms to keep you safe from the risk of failure. And that lack of discipline not only contributes to your lack of self-belief, but also to your lack of results. Okay. And then finally, key three, you learned that you can truly have your cake and eat it too. We talked about the 80-20 consistency rule, which can be applied to your nutrition, training, and basically anything under the sun in life. And I also broke down the 8 key areas in which your habits need to be reflective of your goals. And so to go over them, they are goal setting and organization, nutrition, mindset, training, sleep and recovery, self-assessment, accountability, and community. Okay, something else that you might want to keep in mind, and this was a major aha moment for me, was that the reason why you might not be seeing results is because you're just seeing one professional or just looking at one avenue. So you're just seeing a trainer, or you're just seeing a nutritionist, or you're just following a meal plan, or you just belong to a gym, right? And it's likely that they aren't addressing all of these factors together. Right? Normally, you'd have to see at least 3 or more different types of health professionals to get results in all of these 8 key areas, because these professionals are typically trained, this is not exclusive, but typically only trained in one thing. Like a personal trainer who is just certified in personal training isn't generally allowed to give you specific nutrition advice. They can only give you training advice. While a nutritionist might be great at educating you in proper nutrition, giving you certain foods and supplements, but they won't be able to tell you what exercises that you need to do to build muscle, right? You with me? And a life coach or a mindset coach, they might be able to help you with goal setting and working through many of the mental barriers that might be preventing you from achieving your fullest potential, but they won't be able to suggest which foods will best support your goals, right? And so this is what I was doing for the majority of my fitness journey, was throwing things together, right? I was spending a lot of money in gym memberships and fitness apps and trainers and nutritionists and supplements and health foods, trying to sort of piecemeal it all together. But I learned that I needed to have all of these moving parts all at the same time in order to actually have it be sustainable and long lasting. Okay, so that's just some food for thought. Now, at the beginning of the webinar, I made you a promise. Okay, I promised that by the end of this masterclass, I was going to show you how you can ditch the dieting, the food restriction, and the self-sabotage in your fitness journey and build a bulletproof metabolism and a strong, healthy body that you can feel damn confident in, the balanced and sustainable way. And I hope that I've lived up to that promise. But here's the thing that I want you to remember. Everything that I've shared with you today, it is not some random theory or something that I think might work for you, right? Everything that I walked you through today works. It's been proven time and time again. It's steeped in science-based fitness and nutrition principles and has worked for both me and an innumerable amount of my clients who all started from a similar spot that you might be in right now. And so there's nothing about our situations that made it more possible than it is for you. And I want to make sure that you believe this. So let's talk about some client examples here. Take my client, Sarah, for example. I have to. She tried all of the diets and trends before and said that she'd usually be successful in reaching her goals until the program was over. Let me know if this relates. Then she would gain it all back again. By the end of our first month or first 3 months inside Stronger Ever After, she was able to not only lose 22 pounds, but she was able to also be surprised at how many calories that she needed to be eating. She was loving the recipes and loving the foods that she was eating too. And she was starting to build lean mass, increasing her weights, getting stronger, and was so thrilled with her progress and the lifetime of knowledge and confidence and certainty that she developed over our time together. Melissa's name, or Adrienne. She really struggled with late night snacking and giving into her cravings. So if anyone's struggling with that right now, she might be a good inspiration for you. After I was able to examine her eating habits, I realized that she really wasn't eating enough food throughout the day. And also in the right quantities of proteins, fats, fiber is really important too, which was causing a whole slew of symptoms like hunger and cravings and moodiness. And so inside Stronger Ever After, I was able to show her how many calories she needed to be eating. And mind you, it was a lot more than she was expecting. She was able to ditch the late night snacking, change her body composition, and most importantly, her relationship with food, her body, and her mental health improved dramatically. And then we also have Jess. So Jess, she is a little mini me here. She convinced herself and everybody in her family that she was gluten and dairy free because she thought that that's what she needed to do to be healthy and to lose weight. Let me know if you've convinced yourself. I convinced myself that I was vegetarian for like weight loss reasons, not because of the animal rights. Like I told myself that I must be a vegetarian because it was the only way to achieve my goals. Once we started working together, we were slowly able to work through her food fears. Her family had no idea what was going on when she started grabbing bread and cheese at the dinner table and telling them that her coach told her to do that. And by the end of our 12 weeks, she had dropped 8% body fat and her relationship with food completely changed. She was feeling so strong and so proud of herself that she even wore a 2-piece bikini for the first time. And she said it was a massive highlight for her. And you want to know the kicker? This is why I put Jess in, because I think this is important to let you know. In those results that you see right here, she only lost 1 pound. She only lost 1 pound. This is because your weight cannot determine your body fat percentage, which is the key metric that you need to be paying attention to if your goal is fat loss. Your body weight is made up of water, blood, bone mass, organ mass, waste products, food, not to mention muscle and fat. So when your weight goes up and down, it can mean a variety of things that have nothing to do with body fat. What? That's so crazy. My mind is blown, Lauren says. Yes, this is why we deprioritize the scale weight and make sure that we're measuring useful data like photos, inches, body fat, mood, energy levels, all of the above that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so these are just some of the countless success stories that I can share with you because these individuals decided they were ready to do things differently. They all wanted these things deep down and they knew they were capable of achieving them, but they just didn't know how. And that's where I come in. And this is where Stronger Ever After also comes in. So I do have to ask you at this point, would you like me to help you build your dream body, and a balanced lifestyle. Type yes in the comments if you're ready for me to teach you how you can rebuild your metabolism, eat all the foods you love, change your body composition, and do it all while being able to live your busy, realistic lifestyle. Yes, yes. Okay, so you have a choice right now. You can choose, and this, we all have a choice, okay? So I'm giving you a choice. You can feel free to piece together the advice I've given you inside this training, right? You feel comfortable and confident that you have everything that you need, and you hope that you'll figure it out on your own, right? Or you can choose to have me walk you through the same system that I choose to use to help my clients build the body and the routines that they want so that they can see lasting and sustainable results. So the choice is all yours, and you are free to make that choice. So throughout this masterclass, you heard me mention Stronger Ever After, which is the program I've created to not only help you achieve your body goals, but also teach you how to create a fitness and health routine that you can sustainably rinse and repeat for the rest of your life. Not to mention guiding you through the journey and helping you develop a better relationship with food and helping you develop a better relationship with your body, all of the above. So right now, would it be okay if I took 2 minutes out of my little training to share with you how I can best help you? Type yes in the comments if that's okay with you. Now, my job is just to give you the information, right? There's no pressure on you whatsoever. If you're not interested, it's totally fine. But as you know, it would be a disservice to other women who might be interested if I didn't explain how I can help you if you wanted it. So would that be okay? Melissa, yes. Lauren, yes. Chelsea, save that for the Q&A. I will let you know for sure. Okay, awesome. So first off, I want to acknowledge that I'm certainly not the only one in the fitness industry. There are a lot of people doing what I do. Also, it would have been super embarrassing if you guys said no, because I had slides prepared, hoping that you would say yes. However, I'm the best at working with women who have been on that diet roller coaster for their entire lives, who have struggled with their body weight and body image for far too long, and who want to move away from diet culture and the ideals of being thin and small, and instead want to become stronger to support their metabolism and to feel damn good in their skin. They don't want to have to give up their favorite foods or the occasional glass of wine, and they definitely don't want to devote their entire lives to training or to going to the gym. Right? I strictly work with women who want to learn how they can balance it all while still being able to achieve a body they can feel confident in. Having a background in both personal training, holistic nutrition, and coaching and behavior change, I'm your one-stop shop. When we work together, you'll be able to address every one of those 8 habits that I walked you through at the same time so that nothing is ever neglected or left behind. You'll have a proven method and total accountability so that there is no excuse not to reach your goals. So if that's something that you're ready for, here's what you're going to do next, okay? You're going to schedule a 45-minute consult with me. And I'm going to paste this in the chat right now. Oh my gosh, I have so many tabs open. Here we go. Let me know that you got it in the chat. Okay, you're going to schedule this call right now. So click on it. Let me talk in the background while you do this. And while you're doing that, I want to cover a couple of specifics. Okay, first off, this call is 100% complimentary because this is my mission in life. Okay, literally, my life's work is to support women who have struggled with their weight and body image by teaching them how they can ditch the diets and build a sustainable lifestyle that genuinely allows them to enjoy all the foods they love while building the strong, healthy, and capable body that they know and they deserve. I have a core principle in my business and my business model where I offer value first, always. I start off always by just helping you, okay? With this masterclass, with the call, I know that I can help you overcome some of the barriers that might have stopped you from achieving your goals in the past. And so that's why I'm dedicating this entire call to helping you determine what your goals are, why it's so important to you, and what's been holding you back from reaching them. I'll even give you a little bit of clarity on any self-sabotage that I hear or pick up that might be happening through a conversation and identify exactly what it's going to take for you to achieve those goals, right? So it's going to be a little bit of tough love. And if you're not prepared for that, then you might want to just send me a message and ask me a few questions first. Then once we get to the crux of what's going on, and if you really want that, I highly recommend that you do book this call. I'll help you determine whether or not Stronger Ever After or any of the other services and coaching that I offer is the best next step for you. Because not everyone is a good fit, and you might be fit for something else, or maybe not altogether, right? And if not, that's completely okay. By the time the call is over, though, you will know exactly how to take that next step in your fitness journey either way. Does that sound good? Type yes in the comments if having a call like this would be helpful for you. I'd like to know. I know, Lauren, we had a conversation about this, so this is the link, by the way. So go ahead. And if this is you, okay, if you are someone who has struggled with your body and your food relationship, if you are ready to ditch the yo-yo cycle and want to focus on a proven and maintainable system that actually works, if you know that the road to success isn't straight, it's windy, right? But you're committed. If you want to learn about nutrition and fitness and proper recovery and the key mindset and behavioral shifts that need to happen for sustainable results, if you know that you need to make a change, but you also need the support and accountability to integrate that and make it last. And if you're ready to commit to yourself and willing to do the work, then make sure to schedule a call. Okay. And hey, if you just want to talk it out or even just ask me some questions in a one-on-one capacity, I would love to connect with you. Okay. You guys have been so cool. This whole training, I loved hanging out with you. So definitely feel free to. Okay, present time. Thank you guys so much for attending this live training today. I'm like buzzing with excitement because I'm so happy. As promised, here is the training and activity consistency creator. Holy, say that 5 times fast. Training and activity consistency creator. So I put the link in the chat box. You should be able to see it and pull it up. But if you're having any issues with downloading it or seeing it, please do not worry. Just send me an email and I will send over a copy to you. Okay, so if it doesn't work for you, just send me an email and I'll deliver that straight to your inbox. Hopefully this resource gives you the next step that you need to start seeing results in your fitness journey. And I cannot wait to hear how it goes. Okay, so we officially are at the end of the training. Thank you guys so much for coming today. And truthfully, I know how frustrating it is to try so many things and still be looking for answers, but you guys should feel so proud of yourself for coming and committing and showing up to this training today. Because if there's one thing that I can say, it's that not doing anything about it will keep you stuck in the exact same place either way. And you did something about it today just by showing up. So now it's up to you to take whatever that next step looks like. And so if you're sick of spinning your wheels and you just want to learn how you can reach your fitness goals without all of the restriction and the self-sabotage and the struggle is real, then I hope you booked a call because I cannot wait to connect with you. So we have 7 minutes left until it's at 90 minutes, but I'm happy to go over if the questions are juicy and plentiful, but we'll open up for a Q&A now, and I'm happy to answer and field any questions that you guys might have. But thank you guys so much for being here. And if you have no questions, you want to hop off, if you have somewhere to be, then absolutely you are free to. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to stop recording because we'll keep this Q&A not recorded.